center, and then there's the people who are going to be using Stuyvesant. And you need to address everybody because we all live here and we all make up this community. And that's the community that you all built. And again, you personally, but Battery Park.TV has already built. And started.
When we said that, so we're willing to work with the elected officials and the community board in your selection and the operator. We're
Just a comment on that. We believe that the authority has to continue to play a role to make this program viable. I mean, it's just that simple. This program needs to have some degree of subsidy to continue to make it affordable. If you want to just create another high-price facility, maybe you could find an operator. But the reality is, if you're going to run this program in a similar manner to the way it's been run, and to allow the community to use it, I think there should be, it needs to be, unfortunately, you know, like it or not. Again, it's very conceivable that the authority might be able to do less of it, play a smaller role. I think that's possible. Again, perhaps when we hear from the leagues and others, they'll say that they're ready to take on some responsibilities of running programs in the facility, but you'll get to that.
Okay, I want to take one more from the board, then we're going to open this up.
So I have a few things to say. Paul said a lot of it. There's a strong need in the community. If you go onto North End Avenue right now, there are 20 teenagers hanging out in the gutter, and that is going to increase in the next 10 years. The teens of this neighborhood will be packed with teens in the next couple of years. The most important thing is the Battery Park City Parks Corps has not done due diligence in getting new members. It has not tried, and for a while has tried to give up this program. But I submit to you, I don't want to micromanage the Parks Corps' budget, but $200,000 is chump change to them. And they need to stand by their obligations. Many neighborhoods have Parks Department programs. Carmine Street, right in the village, is a few blocks away. If you were closing that, and I think part of the reason this closing comes, and now the meeting comes just a few weeks later, if you were closing Carmine Street, there would be a revolution. We have no Parks Department here in Battery Park City. The way the authority set it up is there is a Parks Department who cuts our grass and runs our recreation programs. They have to stick with the original agreement. There is no Parks Department here. That's the problem. If we had a Parks Department, then we would have baseline programs run where people from all over the village, Chinatown, could come and use these programs. So that's the history here. That's what's been set up. I have to say, I used the gym over the years, and I've run youth programs there years ago. Security is a big concern there. The principals are very concerned. Manhattan Youth really has no interest in running this program. We can figure it out and sit. I've spoken to Paul from Asphalt. I've spoken to the leagues. We can figure it out. But to run the program at affordable prices, at $350, requires large subsidies, large for us. $350,000, a lot of money for us. And it's a lot of money for the leagues. It's larger than the league's budget. So that's what I take, is to open the door and the security before you start even running the programs there. Because it's 5 floors, it's open more than, I think, 40 hours a week. It requires coordination with the custodians and the staff there, there are cancellations. So the authority has picked up the sides, and I think that number N is actually quite low. Because when we looked at those numbers, it does not take into consideration the costs that the authority and the Parks Corps spend on the program. It doesn't pay their administration, their accountants, their phones, their advertising. I don't think that that is really reflected in that $200,000 figure. But again, I still think that it's chump change to the Battery Park City Authority. If you said to the Parks Department, here, run this program for $200,000, I think they would do it. I mean, I think if you turned over the place to the Parks Department, they would do it. I mean, I think that a mayor who had some forward-looking vision on fitness, and people should be able to go and fit. And let me say something, this place is going to get crowded too. We're crowded, they're crowded. Gyms are a scarce commodity in New York City. You have membership dropping because membership dropping while you have 2 full-size gymnasiums and a high school. There's some sort of correction needed in that. Oh, I'm not done. I'm almost done. I know. Don't beat me. Don't block me. Okay. I want to speak to the resolution. The last whereas. I am happy to consider that, but it does not address the question of affordability. The second whereas be it resolved. I gotta get the resolution here, but it says, or at least insert, it basically says CB urges the BPC to engage in a process to identify alternative potential partners and operating models so to ensure the continued existence of this vital community asset. The vital community asset is $300 to $400 a year to join. And that has to be put in there, or that should be taken out, and we can come back to the arrangement with the authority at a later date. But
If you look down at the front page, for 5th whereas, this is where I reference the idea of affordability. That
Yeah.
Our population has doubled
yes,
half the time this has been open, and we still need affordable active recreation even more than we
yeah,
do
but
before.
that doesn't say we need it to continue to be affordable and run. I think
I'm happy with the
yeah, I think, I mean, I don't want to hear from
I-
other members,
I'd
but
second that friendly amendment.